Well, hello, good evening. Welcome to Tuesday afternoon. Just got in from work, hence the attire, haven't even got changed. I'm just absolutely ran off my feet and it's already Tuesday. Work's mental, I've got 1,000,001 things to do. And I've got a family of starlings or sparrows that seem to have taken residence in my bay window in my bedroom. So every morning it feels like I'm sharing my bed with about 30 birds. It's driving us absolutely mental. Anyway, what we're doing tonight. On a couple of videos ago when we were fishing up at Dunsmore Castle, Alan Pickering asked if I could do a video showing how I tie my leader knot. Anyone that watches the channel, you'll see I don't usually do how-to videos. I think I might have done one a year or two ago. I can't really remember. But anyway, I said, of course, I'd do it. So if I say I'm going to do something, I will do it because nobody likes empty promises, do they? So the knot I use for my leader is the FG knot. You'll be aware there's probably thousands of videos out there online on how to tie an FG knot, but I've been asked to demonstrate how I do it, so I'll do it. It's a tricky knot to tie, especially if you're out on the boat or if you're out on the rocks, but once you've mastered it, it's very, very good. I mean, I use it not only for me lure fishing with light braid. I mean, this is 18-pound Suffix 181 or 131, I think it's called. And I'm using, what's that, 0.37, so what, 18, 20-pound fluorocarbon. But I also use it for taupe on the boat when I'm using sort of 40, 50-pound braid, and then with a 100-pound long leader. It's really, really good. It's the knot itself, there's actually no, on your fluoro or on your mono, there's no knot itself within that. It's basically a long wrapped weave type knot. And the principle of it is because the braid doesn't stretch, it bites into the mono or the fluoro. So the more pressure you put on it, if tied correctly, really the stronger it gets. And to be honest, there's a lot of time when I've been lure fishing where it's your uni knot at the bottom on your lure clip that snaps rather than the FG. So if you can master it, really worth learning how to tie it. I'm going to tie it to my leader now. You might have seen on lure videos, I typically use, what's that? 5 foot roughly of leader knot. I personally, when I'm casting with lures, I like to have the leader knot outside of the tip of the rod. But with the FG knot, if you want, you can tie your leader 10, 12 foot if you're fishing really high rocks where there's barnacles and stuff and you've got a long way to lift up, because it will cast through the ring of your rods. So yeah, it's just a really, really great knot to learn. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do. Let's get into the video. So I always find it's good to tie it through a rod that's fully made up, because that you can just control, especially with a light lure rod like this, you can just control the amount of tension you want to put on it. And when you're using heavier line, I mean, I only used, 12, possibly 12, 15-pound class rods on the boat, so they're still quite flexible in the tip. You can just get that little bit of tension, because what I have found in my own meandering experience, I'm sure that was Baz Luhrmann actually, great song that if anyone remember it, late 90s I think, is what I found is that you can just use the rod tip just to control the amount of tension you want, and it can just make life a lot easier and when you're tying it. Right, it did just occur to us that trying to tie that knot with very, very fine line was probably not going to be the best idea, because you'll not be able to see anything. So this is 40 or 50-pound braid off one of my boat reels, one of my fathoms, and this is about 100-pound long leader that I like to use for the taupe. So I'm going to try and just show you like this, and it might be a bit better. So first thing is to make sure that you keep this line, your braid, under a reasonable amount of tension, because that's what will help the knot bite into itself. If it's not tight enough, it'll just it'll not grip. But too tight, it'll be too tricky to tie. So just try and get it so there's just a bit of tension, a little bit of bend in the rod that you're using, and the knot should see it all right. So what I do, the way to get it started is mono over your braid, leave a decent amount of the mono and a decent amount of your braid, and then just come round the back like that, then under, then over, under, over, under, and not too tight, just you'll kind of find naturally how tight you want to have the braid, and you can see there straight away that's starting to create the knot and that's starting to bite in. So just do this, keep going until you get about 20, 25 turns, and just keep an eye on what's going on. Keep an eye on what's going on with that knot, because if it starts kind of doubling over itself because it's too tight, then obviously you don't want that, because that's not how the knot will work. So we get to this point here. Just want to make sure you can see that. So you just want to nip the main braid, the mono, and this bit of line, and just come round the back of it like that, through that loop. Put this white t-shirt down so you can hopefully see that. And that, you can pull that tight, and then, I mean really you want a pair of pliers, but that then gives you the ability to let go of the knot, and you can just kind of pull that, and you can see you're away. And as you can see, that bit there is coming to one side. So what you can do, you can either just tie a few half hitches all on one side, or what I like to do, so again, I just come round the back, pull down like so. Just make sure you can get that. Pull that tight, do that 3 times each side, for example, just to get it into place. Come on. You can do as many of those as you want. I'm just going to pull that down a bit. Then to finish it off, there's various ways. There's a lot more kind of elaborate and neater looking ways, but I've been asked to show how I do it. So this is what I do. And because, I mean, for this particular knot, it's going to be kind of used on the boat. It's not going to be flying through rings, you know, hundreds of times a day. But, well, not that the knots do when I'm lure fishing, but they might if you tie it long enough leader. So the way I finish it, get your main braid and your mono, create a loop. Same as your uni knot, same principle. 1, 2, 3, 4. I wouldn't really go much more than 4, to be honest. And you can see the loop in the back. You don't have to go through this loop. I just prefer to. And you pull it tight. Hopefully you're getting that. Pull it tight, and it will try and bunch up on itself, but you just keep teasing it down. Get a pair of pliers, tighten that right up. There's your knot. Hopefully you're getting that on camera clearly. That off. Cut that as close to the braid possible, but not actually cutting the blade, of course. And there, that's obviously quite a bit bigger because it's heavier braid and heavier mono, but you can imagine once you start tying that with very fine fluoro and thinner, good quality braid for your lure fishing, works a treat. And then all I do, bit of super glue, dab the knot, let it dry, and away you go. Right, so there you have it, the FG knot, the all useful and handy and strong and reliable FG knot. Just need to tie a lure clip onto that, wait for the next decent set of tides and get out and hoist some lures around. Hopefully you found that helpful. Appreciate there's hundreds if not thousands of other how to tie an FG knot videos out there, but that might help you. Hopefully it helps you catch a few more fish. So until the next time, I've got another 3 days of work and a ton of hassle to sort out, as well as trying to get the birds out of my bedroom. Never thought I'd say that. Anyway, we'll see you later.